Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the 12th Policy Forum of the Institute of Inclusive Security. I welcome you with the sound of the sasa. The sasa is a musical instrument from West Africa, unique to Liberia, and then some part of Sierra Leone. It is played by women. The sasa carries a message. The message is only known by its members. The members that beat the sasa, they understand the message. The sasa has given me a message for this group. What is the message? The sasa say, inquire from our guests. Is it too much to ask to support women in mediation? The sasa answers, no, it isn't too much. It is only reasonable. When you have women on your side, you have it all, my dears. That's it. And so I'm pleased and I'm honored to welcome the representative to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I've never had an introduction like that.
That we do really believe across the board, as Swanee was saying, that the inclusion of women and increased attention to gender issues in these efforts are vital. Our Security Council mandates from Resolutions 1325 to 1960, which we just passed last month, are clear and direct. Equally important is our conviction that we share, I think, with the members of this audience, that this is essential to our ultimate success.
And I had this wonderful experience when I was the presidential advisor in the peace process, because one of my most important tasks ahead was to reopen a stalled peace talk with one of our Muslim rebel groups. And so I talked to all of the people in my negotiation team, who all happened to be men, and they said to me, we're stuck, it's no use, we can't open it anymore. So what I did was I picked up the phone and I asked this Muslim rebel if I could pay him a visit. So when I got inside his house, I saw this huge staircase, steep staircase, and there were dozens of slippers on the ground. I didn't know what that was for. So I told myself, this is perhaps my first test. So I said, perhaps people are upstairs, they take off their slippers, so I took off my own shoes and went up the stairs. And at the landing, I saw the rebel leader. What I did was I immediately broke into a big smile. And then I handed him a box, a brown box with a cellophane top. He looked at it and saw that it was a cake. He broke into a smile. And then he said, come in, come in. He goes. Now all of a sudden he was welcoming and he said, who are you with? I said, I am by myself. And he said, you are by yourself? Do you trust us that much? And I said, is there any reason why I should not trust you? And he asked me to come in. And I saw the room, maybe 1/3 the size of this room, wow, filled with men, and I was the only woman. And so I went in and he said, here is my table. I would like to give you the place of honor. For about 1 hour, all I did was listen to him and acknowledge everything he said, his challenges, his pains, why he did certain things. I guess at the back of my mind, I was telling myself, many of us forget that sometimes we don't have to agree. We just need to listen and let the other person across the table know that we understand. And so after about 1 hour, I said to him, you know, I have come because I want to know whether you would like to reopen the talks. He stopped and he said, when do you want to reopen the talks? I said, in 3 weeks' time before Christmas. He broke into another smile and he said, we will start the talks tomorrow.
I actually saw that these soldiers were very sad. You can't believe it, but they were extremely sad. And I felt that though their voices and their actions were violent, in their hearts they were bleeding for what they were doing to me and to the others. So when I discovered that, boy, I have a lot of power. That discovery gave me a lot of power. I realized that the power balance had shifted now. They had been powerful over me, but now I felt I was the one in power. And with that, I felt a sense of responsibility. I refused to die before now, because now I got a new assignment to let them understand that I understand why they're doing that. But I also thought if I said that in so many words, they would be very angry because I'm exposing them to each other. So I looked for what I had in common, and I just asked one question. I just targeted one of the soldiers, and I asked, "What did your wife cook for you last night?" He was furious. "How dare you abuse my wife?" And the other soldiers were so angry. "Why are you abusing our wives? They hit me, they kicked me, they did everything." When they quieted down, I asked again, "What did your wife cook for you last night?" So I continued that, asking the same question until they quieted down and one of them decided to answer. And another one answered, and we sat under that tree. That tree is still standing at Makerere University in Kampala in Uganda. And we just talked, and we just talked. And for me, that concretized what I think I had been brought to believe, that there is goodness in each and every one. And I felt that if someone had previously worked positively with these soldiers, they wouldn't have done to me what they were doing to me.
I'm no hero, I have to say. But I am privileged to be here, and I sometimes get to work exactly with the people that are not at the table. So, and that's very difficult. Now, that's what a mediator, and especially a non-governmental one, is supposed to do. Get to all the parties and talk to them, and we operate in a very gray zone. And it's very difficult to do it. It's extremely difficult to do it, especially when people that you're supposed to talk to sometimes are on the blacklists. I mean, that's a reality. You have to go into very small types of planes that you think will crush in the next moment. The Soviet type of Volgas that are there for the past 50 years. All of this, you have to sit at the table with displaced people that have a lot of requests. You have to get drunk with them. I don't. I have a partner that does. It's necessary. Someone has to drink the vodka, you know. So then you get to do, but let me stress, someone has to drink the vodka, someone has to bring the cake. Now, there's a difference.
The national TV channel not working. Why? Because some of the journalists and technicians of this national TV channel were supporting the ex-president and sabotaging the work of the new interim government. Some of the journalists and technicians supporting the interim government and not agreeing to work with those who do not support. And people were just eating rumors, terrible rumors, that this ethnicity killed the other ethnicity people, and so on. Rosa Otunbayeva, who is the president today, asked to mediate, to go to the south. We came very late at night. It took us hours to make an agreement between the parties and make the TV channel work. And people start getting the real information. Cannot say the truth, but at least you know the information. That's my area. And this is just one case of what we, women mediators, do in our countries. What my sisters from 20 countries do, what my thousands and thousands of other sisters do all over the world to make our world peaceful,